It's time to spread your wings and fly. Reach for the sky. Get up, don't let nothing hold you. Get up right now, right now. It's time to spread. Get up, don't let nobody tell you that you can't. There is greatness inside of you. You're the one that the world is waiting for. Every step you take, we go again. 'Cause we believe in you. Say one day you go make out. One day, one day, one day. One day you go make out. One day, one day, one day. Don't let nothing push you down. Stand with you, bro. Yes, we believe in you. Don't you give up on yourself till the world knows who you are. Keep on shining. Get up, don't let nothing hold you. Get up right now, right now. Get up, don't let nobody tell you that you can't. There is greatness inside of you. You're the one that the world is waiting for. Every step you take, we go again. 'Cause we believe in you. Say one day you go make out. One day, one day, one day. One day you go make out. One day, one day, one day. One day you'll be like the sun. Say one day you go shine.
Access, more than banking.
Issues about sustainability are very important to us, and it's something we've pursued from 2006 when we had our first gender empowerment program, which was about supporting female entrepreneurs. We did that program together with the IFC, and I think we're able to train about 1,000 women on accounting and all sorts, inclusive of giving them money. Let me quickly say that there was not more than a 1% default of all the loans that we gave to them. Now that program evolved into what we refer to as the W initiative, which is basically aimed at inspiring, connecting, and empowering women. Now, these programs for us, the whole idea is about supporting our female folks, customers, staff, and ensuring that everything required to create a sustainable world is done. There is no reason why in specific societies you basically find people discriminating in terms of lending to women or supporting them, etc. For us at Access Bank, we think that women need to be served, deserve equal rights as men, deserve equal access to financial services, because as far as I'm concerned and as far as the brand we represent is concerned, they represent the most and the most potent talent you can find in the world. What we're doing today is Womenpreneur Hackathon. Actually, it's called Pitchathon. And the whole idea was about pulling women together, and we're doing this together with the IFC, getting them certified through a mini MBA, all right, and helping them grow their business. In the one which started in 2020, we basically had to make it a hybrid event because of the coronavirus. Already, for the 2021 batch, we have 37,000 applicants coming from 10 countries across the continent. Our belief is that by the time we do this, over the next 5, 6, 7 years across Africa, we'll perhaps start seeing about 54 countries represented. Women deserve the opportunity, the same opportunity as all men, deserve applicants coming from 10 countries across the continent. Our belief is that by the time we do this, over the next 5, 6, 7 years across Africa, we'll perhaps start seeing about 54 countries represented. Women deserve.
Good evening. good afternoon, good morning to you, depending on where you're joining us from. And welcome to the W webinar series brought to you by the W Initiative of Access Bank. Now, the W webinar series is a monthly engagement session, and it's one of the non-financial offerings Access Bank offers to its customers and non-customers, featuring carefully curated speakers delivering insightful content that have been developed with you, our audience, in mind. That being said, it's a very beautiful Thursday evening here in Abuja, and I am honored to be your host at this very first webinar series of the W Initiative in 2024. So it's safe to say Happy New Year to you, our online audience. We have missed you so much, just as you have missed us, and we cannot wait to unveil all we have for you in this new year. My name is Joy Otto, and I would like to meet you. So please go ahead, introduce yourself in the chat box. Tell us your name, where you're joining us from. It will interest you to know that in our previous webinars, we've recorded participants join us from over 5 continents, and today will not be an exception. So please go ahead and introduce yourself in the chat box now. As we kick off our first webinar of the year, we delve into a theme that resonates deeply with us all, and that is love. Today's topic, When Butterflies Die, Learning to Love Again, invites us to explore the complexities of this profound human emotion. Love, as we all know, is a beautiful thing. I mean, D'banj said it in his music, but it can evolve over time. Sometimes these butterflies we once felt fluttering in our stomachs seem to fade away, leaving us wondering how to reignite the flame. Now, throughout this session, we embark on a journey of introspection and discovery. Our esteemed panel of speakers will share insights, experiences, and practical strategies for navigating the intricacies of love, how to cope when these butterflies seem to die, and how to embrace the journey of loving again. It is important to note that this situation does not only affect romantic love, but also affects friendships, as we all know. Now, before we dive into this exploration, I want to invite each and every one of you to actively engage and participate with us throughout the session. This is not just a one-way conversation. It is an opportunity for us to learn and grow together. If you have friends, colleagues, family members that you think this session will benefit, what are you waiting for? Share the joining link with them and implore them to join right now. I'll also encourage us to make use of the chat box feature. Drop your thoughts, your questions, your reflections in the chat as we go along. Our team will be monitoring the chat closely, and we'll do our best to address as many of your messages and questions as possible. Once again, thank you for being here, and thank you for joining the very first webinar in this year, 2024. Let's make this webinar an unforgettable experience together. Now, to take us further, by giving us the welcome address, please make welcome with your virtual claps in the chat box, the amiable lady behind the W Initiative, and that is the group head of the Women Banking Team, Mrs. Abiodun Olubiton. Good evening, Ma, and thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much, Joy. Good evening, everyone. Super audience that have actually kept us going. Let me start by saying Happy New Year, because I know we haven't actually gathered like this year to have that discussion like we would always do. So Happy New Year. I hope the year is coming by, good for every one of us. I know the economy has really been, a bit staggering, but we are surviving and we hope for the best. So I would say Happy New Year. Thank you for joining this special webinar again this evening. W has missed you, just like Joy has said. And obviously, we know you have missed us as well. Thank you for all the DMs and everything that you sent to us to say, guys, when are you coming back? It's okay, the rest is enough. So thank you for staying tuned to us. Obviously, this year is packed with a lot for us. We took a bit of time out to be ready for you for 2024, to strategize, to understand what we need to do for you differently in 2024. And trust me, you just have to hang in and stay there with us to enjoy everything that W has put together for us in 2024. So to start this year, of course, we have come with this webinar. Joy has introduced that we are starting with love. I don't want your mind to wander too far. It's not just about romantic love, because this is February. It could even be that friendship that you cherish so much. It could be your colleague at work. It could be your spouse, your siblings. And so when butterflies die, how do you revive it? What do we do to come back to that very time we enjoy ourselves? And I'm sure that you all know that somebody that resonates very much with us in Access Bank, you know, profaning love to humans, is our dear group CEO in person of Dr. Herbert Wigwe, who sadly passed away some weeks ago. We are deeply very saddened by this event. And of course, but knowing that this is what Herbert truly stood for. Herbert cared about women, Herbert cared about family, Herbert cared about children, and of course, youths and entrepreneurs. Those are the things he stood for. And we felt that starting with it this year, we appreciate all the calls and emails that you guys have sent in to express your condolences. We really, really do appreciate. And of course, we are standing strong for him to allow these legacies of everything that he stood for continue to strive. So I would like us to all observe a minute silence in honor of Dr. Herbert Wigwe. Thank you. May the soul of the departed rest in peace. Amen. Thank you so much for honoring Herbert with us as we look forward to an exciting evening with you. Thank you. Joy, over to you.
Thank you so much, Mrs. Abiodun, for that remark. Truly touching. He was truly a visionary leader whose passion for women empowerment has left an enduring legacy. You know, he believed wholeheartedly in the power of women to drive positive change. He was a great supporter of the W initiative. And, you know, we truly miss him, just as Mrs. Abiodun has said. And his legacy must continue to inspire us all. Now, let's carry forward the spirit of empowerment as we delve into today's discourse. I had mentioned that this webinar is brought to you by the W Initiative of Access Bank. My next speaker will take us through what the W Initiative is about and what we have in store for you. Please make welcome the team lead Women in Business segment at W, Mrs. Olubusola Faraway. Good evening, Busola, and welcome.
Right. Good evening, Joy. Can you hear me?
Very well.
Okay, great. Good evening, everyone. And thank you so much for joining today. I'll be sharing on the W initiative, and I'll be taking us briefly on what the W initiative is about and what we have in store for you for our women community. Now, the W initiative is the home of everything Access Bank has to offer women. And it's, as a matter of fact, it's a project that is very dear to our hearts because it has really gone beyond just being a proposition, but going to impact lives beyond our expectation across Africa. Now, the W initiative started in 2006 under the Gender Empowerment Program, where Access Bank was able to, provide access to finance for women and also provide advisory and capacity building for women. Now, as a result of the success of that particular initiative, we realized that there was so much more that we could do for the women's market and the women across our ecosystems. And then the W initiative evolved in 2014 with a focus of doing three key things: inspiring, connecting, and empowering women across Africa and across every location that Access Bank finds itself. Now, what are the focus segments that the W initiative is, really targeted at, and how do we do this? We actually create programs and products to target the women in business, the W professionals, the W and family, which is basically a woman that has decided to be, a caregiver, taking care of the family and taking care of the home front. We have the millennials and the Gen Zs. We also have the W quintessential, as well as the low-income women, which are also very important to us because as much as we know, these people are actually most of the people that are in the market trading and selling the food items that every one of us, consume. So every single woman is very important to us at the W initiative, and we've put them into buckets to ensure that we can easily, identify their needs and also provide solutions to those needs. Now, I'll take us quickly through a couple of our products, which starts with our loan offerings. At the W initiative, we do not, specifically have an app to tailor it to meet our women and their needs. Now, the first product I'll be speaking to is what we call the W Power Loan, which is designed for our women in business segments. Now, the W Power Loan is a business finance that's available to women that can access up to 100 million naira to, access finance for their business. They would also have the opportunity of getting flexible repayments. And because we understand some of the peculiar reasons or challenges that women will face in, accessing finance, some of which include, access to collateral. The W Power Loan is also very flexible when it comes to collateral structure. And the facility is open to women across, all business sectors, as long as you're a woman that has been in business for at least 1 year and you're doing that business actively. We also, use this funding to finance businesses for working capital. So you can take the loan to fund your working capital needs. You can also purchase an asset if you're a woman in business and you need to expand your business operations by acquiring a new asset. And you can also use this fund to expand your business in general. So you need a new location, you need to get to a bigger space, or you even need to just pivot your business to another level where within your business segments, the W Power Loan is available to you. Another interesting feature of this product is the fact that it's very discounted for women. Now, we've gone as low as, giving women access to loans for as low as 1.6% per month. Now, if you do the math as a businesswoman, you understand that this is very, very, discounted compared to the market realities that is currently existing with us at this time. I also want to speak to the W Power Vehicle Loan, which is also a subset on the previous product I spoke to that has a specific focus of giving women access to finance to acquire vehicles. Now, we understand that women face challenges, especially during when, COVID happened, as well as different protests that happened across, Nigeria. We noticed that a number of businesses were hampered by, not able to move their products from one location to another. Now, this particular product is available to you to acquire that vehicle, to acquire that truck, that you need to be able to move your products from one location to another. And it's also very flexible, such that you can either purchase a brand new vehicle or a pre-owned vehicle. And you also have the option of an equity release, which, you know, is an opportunity for you to access even more funds for your business using a previously purchased vehicle from either an Access Bank approved dealer. And this product is also still very discounted because it's a subset of the W Power Loan, and it's available to women for as low as 1.6% per month as well. And, you know, as long as your business has been running for 1 year, this is an opportunity for you to take on as a woman in business. Now, the next product I'll speak to is very dear to us at Access Bank, because this product has one of the products that has been able to help us deliver over 103 babies. Now, this product, we call it the W Health Loan. It has evolved from what it was into what we now call the W Health Loan, which is a discounted health finance, you know, that helps us provide support for women and their families in overcoming financial challenges when it relates to accessing quality healthcare. There are now 3 variants on this product, and it's also available for people that want to access treatments locally or internationally. So, you know, any woman that wants to maybe undergo a fertility procedure here in Nigeria or abroad, this particular financing scheme is available to such people. And of course, the bank has partnered with leading healthcare facilities to ensure that this product is available. So of course, we're not a healthcare facility, we're a financial institution. And we've done all of this in partnership with leading healthcare facilities to ensure that they can give us insights on how to make this product, you know, much more accessible and very flexible for people to access. Now, the unique part about this product is, because for us, it's more around the impact that this product can create. The product is available to you at a discounted interest rate, and there are no fees applicable to the product. So it's just the interest of 14% that applies. And there is also the flexible application option, which I'll speak to in the next slide. Now, we're very much concerned about customer confidentiality. And because we know that these are health issues, so customer confidentiality is actually very much prioritized on this product. Now, the 3 variants on this program is what we call the maternal health service support, which is, you know, a product that is targeted at fertility treatment, natal procedures, and then pediatric care, as well as specialized procedures. Now, we also have what we call the medical emergency under the W Health Loan, which is an opportunity for people to access finance to cover extremely time-sensitive medical situations, such as accidents, intensive care units, as the case would be. We also have the cancer support. Now, we know that cancer is a bit on the rise, and it's one of the health situations that, you know, leave people very daunting. So we went on to partner with leading healthcare facilities that are specialists in cancer treatments to bring up this product such that a woman can actually get funding for her family member or for a fellow woman to access, you know, cancer treatment, as the case would be. Because we understand, of course, that the person that is currently going through the ailment will not be able to go through the whole process, which is why we have allowed for a third party or a family member to be able to access this loan on their behalf. And now, who can apply for the W Health Loan? A woman can apply, a man can apply, and a third party can apply on behalf of the beneficiary. The other products that currently we have on the W initiative is what we call the W cards. Basically, what does the W cards do? It gives you a 2-in-1 offer such that you can use it as your regular debit card, and you can also get access to discounts from all our discount partners, ranging from fashion to beauty and a whole lot more that women would be really, really interested in. Now, what other non-financial services do we have? This, for us at the W initiative, we're very particular about building the capacity of our community. And that's why, you know, the W initiative brings on board this webinar to you every month. And we even go much more deep into this by providing regular trainings through our W Academy. Now, W Academy manages what we call the Womenpreneur Pitchathon and our mini MBA program. We also have programs like trade fairs where we give women access to market, because we do not only want to give you access to the finance, but we want to give you access to a viable market that will help you ensure that this business is sustainable, and other networking opportunities. Now, the final program under the W initiative that is really very important for us is what we call the Ladies Let's Drive. Now, the Ladies Let's Drive program is one initiative that was pioneered by the W initiative to ensure that we are able to teach women how to be better drivers, not just be better drivers, but ensure that this skill can be transformed into a commercial skill for them. So a woman can actually learn how to drive and start making money off it, not necessarily looking at, oh, how do I want to do trading or buying and selling? And it's open to all 36 states across Nigeria. And Access Bank has even taken it a notch higher to ensure that women are encouraged by providing a further 5,000 Naira discount for you on this program. So please look out for the offerings that we have and stay connected with us at the W Initiative through all our social media platforms. If you're joining us for the first time on this platform today, please ensure that you subscribe to our YouTube channel so that you can be notified when we come on, on all our webinars, to ensure that you are up to date on everything that we have. Also follow us on all social media platforms, on Facebook, on Twitter now that is called X, as well as on Instagram, to stay abreast. And for further inquiries, please feel free to reach out to us at wcares@Access Bank PLC. I'll be very delighted to take your responses and to attend to your inquiries. And also, if you want to make any further inquiries, or you want to indicate interest for any of these offerings that we have spoken to, please look out for the feedback form in the chat box as we go into this conversation. And trust me, it promises to be an exciting journey with the W Initiative as we reach out and as we impact the lives of women. Thank you so much for your time. Over to you, Joy.
Thank you so much, Busola. Amazing initiative. I mean, Busola has mentioned lots of products, and I want us to do a quick exercise, my audience, just a quick exercise. Busola has mentioned quite a number of products: MHSS, W Power Loan, W Card. So just go to the chat box right now and type out what product you think will be beneficial to you at the moment. Is it the loan? Is it the health loan? Is it the business loan? Is it a card that you need? I just want to see your responses in the chat box right now. And after that, if you need more inquiries on that product that you have chosen, she mentioned an email, wcares@Access Bank PLC. Quickly send us an email and we'll provide provide answers to every question that she sent to us. So right now, I want to see the chat box. I want to see in the chat box your request from us, because I mean, this initiative is really amazing. And I want to thank Access Bank, the W Initiative, for this. Thank you so much, Busola, for that presentation. Busola also mentioned that you can follow us at the W Community on Instagram, Facebook, and X, formerly called Twitter. The links will be dropped in the chat box, so you can take advantage of that. Click the link as it drops, and it takes you directly to our pages. And also, as we go on from here to why we are here, don't forget to drop your questions, your thoughts in the chat box as it relates to the topic. And we'll try as much as possible to answer all your questions before the end of the webinar. Now, let's go to why we're here. We have two highly accomplished professionals in their respective field to dissect the topic for us today. We have Coach Lara Kudaisi Don Momo. She's a behavioral therapist and family life coach. We also have Coach Olabisi Olashueton. She's a relationship and marriage coach. Now, without further ado, I'll quickly read their profiles and then we can go right into the conversation. So first person I would be reading her profile is Coach Lara Kudaisi Don Momo. She's a certified cognitive behavioral therapist and family life coach, popularly known as Dear Coach Lara. She specializes in healing, family life, and mind reprogramming. Her life story went viral because she healed from having a child at 19, underwent 14 heartbreaks, and experienced 15 abortions and a divorce. Lara Kudaisi-Donmomo is a practitioner of neuro-linguistic programming, an Ericksonian hypnosis expert, a neurological repartment coach, performance consultant, family life coach, emotional intelligence coach, anger management advisor, fear mastery coach, and a cognitive behavioral therapist. She helps people heal from childhood dysfunctions and emotional traumas through her program, The Healing School, and a private therapy session. She's also the CEO of Lara Kudaisi International, an organization that specializes in therapy, coaching, couples therapy, finding love after trauma, life after divorce, and coaching certification. She owns and presents her own show called How They Healed on Africa Magic Family, which she features the healing journey of numerous celebrities from their trauma and emotional pain. She's happily married with 2 children and counting. Now, with your virtual claps, you know how we do it, audience. Please make welcome Coach Lara Kudaisi-Donmomo. Welcome, Ma, and thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much, Joy. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. I will be going ahead to read the profile of Coach Olabisi Olashoeton. Coach Olabisi is a certified emotional intelligence and marriage coach, providing coaching for marriage and relationships. She's the founder of Secret Place Wife, a platform where she provides godly, relatable, and useful counsel for wives and wives-to-be, bringing clarity and understanding to the many things that puzzle women and men about marriage. Olabisi works closely with her clients to create unique interaction that can support their journey and create the beautiful outcome of a happy and healthy relationship they desire. She's very passionate about children and marriages. She strongly believes that family is the vehicle for restructuring society. She believes, firstly, that marriage works when people put in the work, and she's committed to teaching and showing couples how. Coach Olabisi works with individual clients, couples, facilitates group sessions, leads workshops, webinars, online courses, and is a sought-after conference speaker. With your virtual claps once again, please make welcome Coach Olabisi Olashoeton. Welcome, Ma.
Thank you, Joy. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you.
Thank you.
I would also like to reiterate, if you have questions, please don't hesitate to drop your questions in the chat box. Now, to kickstart the conversation, I have the first question is to both of my speakers. You know, people say they feel butterflies in their tummy, right? I'm going to confess, I have not felt butterfly in my tummy, but I mean, maybe I'm one of a kind. But I mean, does this really happen? What exactly does it mean when people say they feel butterflies in their tummy? And like, does it really exist? Does it truly exist? I would allow Coach Olabisi to start, and then Coach Kudaisi can take over. Thank you.
Thank you, Joy. Hi, everyone. Good to have you here, and Happy New Year to everyone here. Yes, so butterflies in your tummy is, you know, a phenomenon that exists. It does exist. And even though you say you haven't experienced it before, Joy, I'm sure you have. When you think about, have you ever been nervous about something? Yeah. Have you ever felt excited to the point that, oh, you feel like going to the toilet? That's butterfly in your tummy. So that's what it feels like. It's like a nervous response, right? A feeling that comes from some kind of excitement or nervousness about something you're about to do, something you're thinking about, or about a person, you know, or an interaction with somebody. Do you see? So that's what you call butterflies in your tummy. So with regards to the love relationship in quote, or the relationship between a man and a woman, that feeling exists. It's sort of like that initial start of the relationship excitement that comes from, you know, meeting the person, the dopamine rush. So what happens is that your hormones change, right? And there's you begin to release dopamine, which is responsible for excitement, right? You also feel like a sense of, nervousness, like your gut area. You can literally feel it in your belly that there's something going on there. So it's like a rumbling. It's all over the place, right? But it's more a response feeling to the initial state of a relationship with the opposite sex in the context that we're discussing it today. So I would say it does exist, but whether it is true, whether it means what we think it means, then that's another conversation entirely. But it exists, and it happens to a lot of people. Joy, are you there? I think we lost you.
Entry network issue.
She's back.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Sorry, I got thrown off network.
No worries.
Okay. Coach Lara, over to you.
Yeah, so I think Coach Isi has just said it all. It does exist. It's a feeling, that happiness that just comes to you when you see someone. And you would see when Coach Olabisi was talking about it, she was smiling, because that's one of the things it does to you. You just feel, it makes you feel alive. That feeling of, I want this person, I want them, I like them, I love being in their presence, I appreciate them. They give me joy. They give me so many rush of emotions, So it does exist. Butterflies exist. It does. And just like she said, that it is true. It's another conversation for another day. Or whether it is responded to or not is another conversation. But usually butterflies begin when you just start to like somebody. You don't even have to be in a relationship with the person yet. It may just be that you see the person. It may just be that when they talk to you, it may just be when you see their chat. It may just be when you think about them. It may just be when you see their picture or anything that just reminds you of them. So it does exist. It happens in our bellies.
Okay. Since my coaches have said it does exist, I'm looking forward. Coach Olabisi said, I have probably experienced it. I want to experience it again. But thank you so much for those insightful responses. My second question will be, we find out a lot of people base love on the stories that they watch, Nollywood, K-drama lovers, Turkish series. And when their partners don't measure up to their favorite male or female leads, it becomes an issue, right? Now, the question is this right? That's one. And now going back to the question of butterflies, these butterflies, do they last forever? And is this right? Like my first question, is it right to, position your concept about your
We're losing again.
A network.
I don't think network wants us to be great today. I'm so sorry for the interruptions. I'm so sorry. Where did you hear me? Where did you get me? Where did I stop? I was trying to ask a question, throw a question to Coach Lara on the fact that people base their love on what they watch, like the Nollywood K-drama lovers, they base if their partners don't measure up to that idol, they can't go ahead to love someone. So is that right? And going back to the issue of butterflies, do they exist? Do they last forever? So Coach Lara, please, that question, please.
So first of all, butterflies don't last. In fact, butterflies die usually at the, when they say the honeymoon phase is over, maybe after 3 months, some people 6 months, some people struggle, 1 year, and, but butterflies don't last. It doesn't last, a lot. It's just, that's why other things have to be in place. Butterfly is just some sort of feeling about the person, attraction to that person, attraction to their intelligence, attraction to their, sexuality, attraction to their physical body, and all of those things, can cause butterflies. So it doesn't last forever. That is why other things have to be in place. You can never judge relationship or qualify relationship by what you watch, you get, which is where trouble is coming from, and it births a lot of unrealistic expectations, especially K-drama, because I know that that's the in thing now in Nigeria. A lot of people are so much into K-drama. It used to be Z-World, but now it's K-drama. And it's not real.
Yeah.
All those things are fantasies that we want, that we like to, people like, especially women, us women, we're more emotional. We like to escape, so it's a means of escape into something, beautiful, fantastic, something, that looks like it doesn't, exist. Because when you start living with somebody every day, what I can tell you that butterfly will start reducing. They'll start losing their wings small by small, until they die, on the long run. So it doesn't really last. You cannot judge love by what you watch. You cannot judge love by another person's relationship. You cannot judge love by Instagram. That's another menace that we're suffering right now. By whatever anybody's posting or whatever you think is happening in other people's lives, because people show you a fraction of their lives. You don't know what exactly is going on in the remaining 90% that they are not showing you. So you cannot judge by that. Why also? Because there are so many other things that make up for a human being. This human that you are with have trauma. This human that you're with is coming from a family where they have a background, they have a culture, spoken or unspoken, in that family. Maybe that human being watched his father, beat his mom. That has done something. Maybe that human being has been molested, has gone through sexual abuse. That has done something. Maybe that human being has, lost their job at some point, been, betrayed, or had an heartbreak or more. That also, make up that person. So these are the raw materials that you have to work with. So you would know that K-drama does not cut it, because they don't show all of these things inside K-drama. There's no trauma usually in K-drama, so you cannot use all of that to judge. So that's that.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for that insight. My next question will be to Dr. Coach Olabisi. What causes decline in affection over time, right? So you said butterflies don't last forever. So what causes the decline of, the love or the affection that you have for that person over time? And what causes it to last long? So we're talking about decline, or we're talking about what would cause it to last long?
Okay, so
Coach Olabisi.
Yeah, talking about decline in the affection you have for a person, I always say two things, which would be proximity and then frequency of issues, right? Ideally, when you get close to somebody, all of the quirks that used to be attractive to you become less attractive. So all the things that used to be nice and cheeky and just like, oh, this is cute, even though they were, in quote, negative things, right? Because of the proximity, the frequency of those things, it begins to become less attractive, right? Also, you see a person more, you get to know them, you get to know their trauma, you get to know how they respond to their trauma, you get to know what they're hiding from people, what they're running away from. all of which may no longer align with your trauma, with where you're going. And when these two come together, you find that it begins to create different issues within the relationship that we are either willing or unwilling to resolve. Again, based on our personality, based on our trauma responses. So what do I mean by that? Now, a person who has seen their mother beat their father or has never really experienced communication, healthy communication before, may have a pattern of shutting down when they're upset or when they're wrong or when they feel like they've been hurt. Now, this is not exactly something they want to do to ruin their relationship. This is a trauma response. Do you see? Meanwhile, somebody else is coming from maybe, let's even say, that same issue, and now has developed a response about talking about every little thing. Do you see what I mean? Now, somebody who wants to talk about every little thing is now in love with somebody who doesn't want to talk about anything at all. Now, obviously, when these two come together, there's a problem, an inevitable, in fact, an obvious problem. What happens is that the person that wants to talk feels like the other person is shutting them down and being intentional about not talking to them, thereby not prioritizing the relationship, and vice versa. So what happens is that the frequency of issues, the issues that when you were dating would have been resolved, or at the very least, one person will walk away and go to their house. Now you live in the same house. Even if you get away from each other's presence, you will meet in the hallway. You go to work and come back. Let's say you even decide that, okay, I'm going to forgive this person on this issue. Before the end of the day, they may likely annoy you again. Do you see? So when all these things come together, you find that there's a decline in love, in quote. People begin to feel some kind of annoyance towards each other. Now, as the issues pile up, it also creates other things. You know, research already shows that the major predictors of divorce are stonewalling, which you can say some kind of malice keeping, right? Defensiveness, which will happen a lot when you get into a relationship with another human being. Defense is a normal response. It is not an abnormal response, but we treat it as an abnormal. Why are you being defensive? What should a person do when you tell them that they've done something wrong to you? The first is an animalistic instinct. When you get into a situation, your fight or flight response is triggered. So it is normal. We all have it. It's the nervous system response. Do you see? But then we come and say, why are you being defensive? That in itself is some kind of defense. You see what I mean? So defensiveness, criticism, which will happen a lot. When you begin to see the shortcomings of a person that they don't necessarily show to the world. In fact, when you get close to a person, you see them in a way they may likely not see themselves, which is you may notice a shortcoming that they don't even know about or have not accepted. Do you see what I mean? Now, when this happens, what happens is you will begin to criticize each other, right? It may initially start like feedback, right? But obviously, because you will notice it more, again, frequency, it won't be long before criticism step in. Now, the last stage, not necessarily the last, but the worst of all is that content. When we begin to really dislike each other, you dislike the personality, which is real and possible. When you are dealing with somebody, after a while, you begin to see them in a way that nobody sees them, and you may not like it. Even though you are in love with them or you fell in love with them, certain aspects of their personality, certain aspects around their value, around maybe the way they see life, the vision they have for their life, or the lack of vision, will begin to annoy you, all of which can lead to a sudden disgust and irritation, right? Which will lead to contempt. All of this will cause a decline in affection, right? Then we add to things around lack of communication, lack of romance, forgetting on not necessarily dating each other, disagreement on parenting, all those basic things that couples should do together, no sex, lack of it, less of it, all of those things will definitely cause a decline in your love. Now, how do you sustain your love? You have to come to a place where you become realistic. about what proximity and frequency of issues can do, which is you have to come to a place where you normalize the humanity of that person. You know, when you first fall in love with a person and you're attracted to them, it seems like you are lucky. You in the world have found this person that meets all your needs, which is the process of falling in love, actually, right? You meet somebody who meets a need, not that you are in love with them in a way that, oh, it's unconditional, you know, in a way that, oh, I just love them. No, you don't just love people. You fall in love with them for a reason, and it's always selfish. Now, I use selfish in the context of thinking about yourself, satisfying something within you, a desire within you. So not in a malicious way to say, you know what, I'm going to be selfish, you know. No, it's just something that satisfies your own desire. Now, if you think about it, loving somebody should not be about satisfying your desire. So you can already see that the foundation is problematic. So when you get into a relationship where you have built your attraction to that person based on a certain need they meet, what happens when they no longer meet those needs? What happens on days when they fall short? Do you see what I mean? On days or what happens when they become a different person? Because people change. When you meet somebody, they are likely not to remain the same person 5-10 years down the line. So what happens? So you have to come to a place where you normalize it. When you think of butterflies, when you experience butterflies now, maybe you are in a state where you're at the beginning, feeling that butterfly, a feeling of attraction, desire towards a person. You need to realistically come to a place where you breathe, right? And begin to see that that butterfly is giving you information. It is actually possible for it to happen unconsciously. In fact, most of it can happen unconsciously. It becomes conscious when you take control and begin to ask questions about it. You begin to ask questions about what you're feeling, because that feeling of excitement that you call butterfly is intelligence. It is giving you information about something. Oh, I feel a certain need to see this person again. I feel a certain need to be close to this person. I want to talk to them again. Now, when you begin to question those feelings, when you query it, then it becomes a conscious process. Do you see? Now, when you come to that consciousness, you can then begin to, through knowledge, normalize the humanity of that person, so that you do not build that relationship on those high expectations alone, so that you do not build it on desires, your desires alone, so that you can be real with yourself that they are your desires. They are not necessarily desires that will make the relationship successful, although they are yours and they are valid. Once you validate the humanity of that person, you are sort of giving yourself permission within the relationship to forgive things, to overlook certain things, or to, at the very least, query it until you come to a satisfactory answer or resolution between you and that person. So in order to make your love last, normalize the humanity of that person. First things first, normalize your humanity and embrace knowledge. Embrace the intelligence that your body relates to you. Embrace the intelligence that are in books. Embrace the intelligence that you get from other relationships. Embrace the intelligence that comes from sessions like this, or even going to counseling with that person. All of which would help you to truly come to a place of normalcy with that relationship, aside from the butterflies. Now, obviously, there are certain things that a couple should do. Maintain healthy communication. It is important. You have to talk. You cannot not communicate, right? And when you think about this, you have to think about communication as everything you do, such that even your silence is a form of communication, right? You also have to ask yourself, right? Am I communicating what I want to communicate? So whether I'm silent, whether I'm talking, is this the goal that I have? So you have to learn how to communicate healthily. You have to come to a place where you're not afraid of disagreements. You're not afraid of conflict. You can address situations without necessarily attacking each other, but addressing the issue, focusing on the issue, not necessarily the person that did it. You also have to pursue emotional intelligence. If you're going to have successful relationship as a person, you have to be intelligent. And I say this is like major. You have to be intelligent emotionally. You have to be intelligent relationally. A lot of relationships actually fail for lack of skills more than a lack of love. So there's love. Yeah, I know I love this person. There are many people who are in counseling with me who love their partner, who feel a sense of duty. In fact, they don't want to leave them. But guess what? The relationship is not working. They're not able to speak to each other. They're not able to talk. They're not able to deal with certain issues, right? They don't understand how to interact on certain levels. So you have to realize that skilling up is important. Getting skills, the right emotional skills, the right relational skills, right? The right information, the right knowledge is very important. Knowing how to negotiate, knowing how to be influential, these things are necessary for your relationship, because your relationship is like another interpersonal relationship that you have, right? And if you think of your relationship at work with your colleagues, all the effort you put in to interact, imagine yourself in a meeting, right, with your bosses. The effort you put in to communicate your best, to put your best forward, is what you need to be doing in your relationship. But the relationship is where we least do this thing, because we consider it the safe place, the place where we want to put up our feet. But guess what? It is also the place that require more work, if not more, than any other relationship in your life. So you have to be willing to do the work. When you put in the work, the relationship would work. So you have to prioritize conflict resolution, prioritize communication, and embrace knowledge. Knowledge in the sense that you have to get the right skills, right? The right communication skills and everything you need to know in order to interact properly with another human being, not just interacting with your object of affection. I'll stop there now.
Thank you so much. That was a lot. A lot for me to take in, but very valid point. You spoke about the reason why relationships, love, affection declines over time. You also spoke about how to address these issues. Amazing. We spoke on embracing knowledge. We'll come back to maintaining healthy communication, because that communication is very, very important, but we'll speak more on it later on. But let me ask Coach Lara a question. So what are the signs? So Coach Olabisi has spoken about why, what causes these declines, and how to even properly manage them. But once it happens, what is that sign? What are the signs that you see, that you notice that, okay, I need to start to work on this. I need to start to work on my relationship, my friendship. What are those signs that you need to even be able to know that, okay, this is it. I need to start to work on it. Yeah.
Okay. So one of the signs is resentment. When you begin to resent each other, because trust me, there are lots of couples that are living together, they resent each other. And usually this stems up from, like Coach BC said earlier, lack of communication, or lack of expressing what you want, and especially women. A lot of women don't know how to ask for what they want. And when they want to ask for it, is fight, is nagging, and the other person gets defensive and, gets put off. So when you see that there's resentment, that's a terrible place to be in, in a marriage or your relationship. When you started to notice that, please know that it's time to get some work done. Then when you start losing affection for them, you begin to see they are wrong more. You begin to get angry easily. You are very irritable. You don't like to see them often, or when they see them, they trigger something negative in you. You are just waiting to react, to pounce, and all of that. It's time to start working. Then, when you no longer feel the need to have sex, or sex is dead in your relationship, you don't have it regularly, you guys now live like brother and sister, in the marriage, you are now buddies, you only talk about the kids or day-to-day runnings of the house, food, know that it is time to work. And believe you me, lots of marriages. In fact, I remember a pastor saying that singles have more sex than married people. That is so true. You see how before you get married, don't have sex. You see people trying to, let's do this thing. But when they get married, like my pastor would also say, and the consequences of sex begins to show up, like children, and other things. You see that sex starts to decline. So that is a very, very important thing. When you see that sex is not, it's declining. You guys don't even have sex. There are couples that have not had sex. When I work with them, 5 years, 3 years. Some people, they've not had sex for that long and they're married. So when that is happening, know that you need to work. Then when you start feeling depressed, because we are women, our marriage or relationship plays a large role in our well-being, in our happiness. So you'd see a woman, her work is going well, she's making a lot of money, her children are not doing badly, her skin point, what do they call that? Skincare point is on point, all of those things, but she's unhappy. She's depressed, she's sad. Why? Because emotionally she's unfulfilled. She's unhappy. So it's either maybe her needs are not getting met, maybe her husband is probably cheating, maybe she's just unhappy. Something is happening. And before you know it, unhappiness can go into hopelessness, into helplessness. Before you know it, depression sets in. And I tell you, full-blown depression, can be caused. A lot of women, when their marriages are fine, you see how a woman will start glowing. You see how they are happy. You see how they are more productive. You see how it's like they're walking on, spring and all of that. So when you see that, you begin to feel depressed. When you feel there's no point, I don't want to be married anymore. You understand? Like there's more, that's where people get to, which, make people want to go divorce. You get? When you begin to think, what's the benefit of me being in this relationship? Why am I even here? When people start thinking being alone is better, they're beginning to romance the idea of more of being alone, more benefits being alone. Then also when you begin to have feelings for someone else, because this happens a lot in marriages. You'd see a married woman, start having feeling for somebody else, and before you know it, your husband no longer holds water in your eyes. You are just upset and angry anytime you see him. Why? Because you are beginning to measure him and compare him to the person you are falling in love with or having feelings for. So there's so many reasons, But when you see that the fights are getting more frequent, and not just frequent, it's volatile. Some people fight. How we fight is very important. Some people fight and, they destroy each other. They say things that some people may not be able to recover from 15 years after, 20 years after. Somebody will still remember, you said my father was this, you said I'm a 1-minute man, those kind of things. When you see that the fights are frequent and they are more volatile, it's time to start work. And I think that's all I remember for now.
Thank you so much. You've mentioned quite a lot of things, but I'm going to still ask you this next question. My next question will be on healing. So you've mentioned resentment, you've mentioned depression. After having, experienced all of these signs, the next step is you have noticed that you're going into depression, you're having resentment for this person. How do you heal? Right? How do you make things work again? So I'm going to ask you that question now.
One of the points that I'd like to mention that I didn't mention earlier also is that when you see that your parents' marriage is beginning to repeat itself in your marriage and it's an unhappy one, some of us or some people, their parents' marriages are fantastic, beautiful, you want to repeat it. But when you see that there's the dysfunction, this dysfunctionality of your parents' marriage are beginning to happen in your own marriage, it's time to seek help. Because a lot of us have the tendency to repeat our parents' marriage, except there's an intervention. And this happens subconsciously. It's not something you have control over. Why? Because 90% of your behavior, 90% of your reality is controlled by the subconscious. So let me explain what I mean. My name is Lara Kudaisi. So if they give birth to me, Lara, into the Kudaisis family, and my dad beats my mom, or in our family the culture is aggression, anger, a lot of, dysfunctionality, unhappiness and stuff, I am going to subconsciously internalize all of these things, whether I like it or not, because my parents have modeled to me that this is how to show love and be loved. This is what love is, which is why a lot of people are perpetrating these things unconsciously. They're not doing. You would see that most couples therapy and people, the wife say, "I'm done. My husband is wicked. He's terrible. He's this," and I'm telling you, it's not doing these things purposely to hurt you. It's not possible. It's not possible that this man that prostrated years ago to sorry, Nepa, me. They're going to put on the yeah. Okay. So can you guys hear me? They'll put on the journal. So when yes. So a lot of I tell wives, especially wives, when they say my husband is wicked, my husband hates me, he's doing this, he's doing that. I'll tell he's not doing this thing purposely. There's a subconscious wiring that is making him repeat all of these things. You get what I mean? So most of the times our marriages are controlled by how we have been wired, by our parents or guardians or caregivers when we were young. So that is why you would see somebody that went through domestic violence as a child, like you see your dad beat your mom. You went through that as a child. You'll be shocked that this girl or this woman has proposed, have vowed that this can never happen to me. This will never happen to me. This will not be my portion. But suddenly you are now in that marriage where the same exact thing is happening. And you are being like, oh my God, I checked the signs. I didn't see this happen. I didn't see this. So the reason is because that is how you have been wired. That is what you would attract, the familiar. That is what will keep coming to you. And you may not notice it at first, but that's what you keep attracting. So when that happens, what do? I tell people, number one, first of all, identify the problem. A lot of people, especially Christians, I'm sorry, I'm a Christian, a tongue-speaking one, but a lot of us don't like the truth. We live in denial a lot. Oh, the devil is trying to attack my marriage. Yes, I know, but the devil is using you and your husband. So first of all, help each other. Oh, it's village people. Oh, it's because of this. Oh, it's because of that. We try to excuse a lot of things away. Identify it as a problem, and accept it instead of living in denial, instead of blaming. Because if somebody says, my husband is always defensive, my husband is always doing this, it takes two to fight. It takes two to tango. There's probably something about you too that is stirring that up. So identify the problem, accept that there is a problem. And number three, go for therapy. That's what I would say. A lot of people here in Africa don't think therapy is important. But I tell people, if you can heal your childhood trauma, I swear to you, your relationship, your marriage will get better. Why? Because there are some things that you have inherited subconsciously from your parents. It's not your fault. You don't even know that you like to keep malice, or you react a certain way, or something triggers you, or you just don't want to hear stuff, or things you become necessarily aggressive or defensive, or sometimes it could even be the extreme. Maybe you're a passive person who just likes to keep things in their chest, and then one day you blow up, and a lot of things, or you just get angry, you blow up, outburst and stuff. These are things that determination, conscious determination cannot change. No matter what you read online, 25 ways to deal with anger, in 15 seconds, you would be telling yourself, okay, count to 6, count to 50, count black sheep, that's what you'll be telling yourself. But when shit hits the fan, excuse my French, your subconscious will happen. It will come out because it's on autopilot. It is what is inside of you from the age of 5, 4, 3, 7, 8, 9, 10. That is what is going to come out. Before you remember all the things you learned in anger management class, before you remember all the Google points you read. So which is why you need to go to therapy, to go and heal that childhood trauma. That thing that just, because sometimes sorry for taking your time, but I remember I just did a session recently with a husband, and he was telling me how his wife nags a lot and they fight and all of that. And I was asking him about his childhood. You know, who raised you? And I was talking about not his mom, the adopted mom. And I was asking, she was always angry, she was always criticizing me, she was always doing this, she's always shouting. And I'm asking him, what is the similarity between your adopted mom and your wife? He was just in shock. He's like, Coach Lara, I think I married my adopted mom. That's what happens to a lot of us. So when the wife is shouting, when the wife is nagging, when the wife is criticizing him, he goes back to that 7-year-old boy, you know, that is just hearing you're not good enough, you're never good, you're not. So he tells me that when she tells me the lock is bad, fix the lock, I will not do it. You know, because I want to prove to her that you can't just order me around, you can't just tell me what to do. This is my house. You get what I mean? So you can imagine that kind of thick argument. You won't even know. You know, you just think my husband is just being heady. He's just being stubborn. I don't even know what's wrong with him. But look at, you know, you are modeling something that happened when he was just 5, 6, 7 years old. You know, so this is the reason why therapy is important. We can give all the advice in the old, I'm telling you, but we need to go back to re-engineering who we really are from childhood so that we can, heal our adulthood. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Coach Lara. So identify the problem and go for therapy, both of you. Very, very important. My next question will be to Coach Olabisi. We've spoken about, reasons why love and affection decline. We've spoken about, how to address these things when they arise. Let's talk about the good parts of it. So if we do not want this love to decline, how do we sustain it? How do we sustain our love in the relationship, in friendships? How do we sustain it? Over to you, Coach Olabisi.
Yeah, I think we've kind of like said some of that in the beginning on how to keep the love going. But just to address it again, I would say it's always important for us to go back to the beginning, which is what we don't get to do in a relationship. There's no time. Coach Lara said something that once we get to maybe see the products of having sex, like parenting, having kids, and all that, then we realize how difficult it is to actually like have sex or whatnot. So usually when we marry, life gets in the way. So we have kids, the children place their own demand on the relationship. Then work places on demand. Obviously, you are both growing in the direction of your dreams. And that also sort of places its own demands on the relationship. What you want to do is make sure that from time to time, you go back to the beginning. Now, in the beginning, where you were feeling the butterflies, something was responsible for it, right? Which is somebody was wooing another, right? Somebody was showing some kind of never known before kindness to another person, right? Basically, there was a chasing going on, right? You want to go back to this place where from time to time, you create that sense of wooing your partner, that sense of chasing your partner, that sense of desiring your partner. Desire is a key to maintaining your relationship because one of our core needs in relationship is to be desired, right? So sometimes you may find that even people with even high sex drive who want to have sex, they are craving sex, will hold off on having sex if they don't feel desired. So what do I mean? Somebody with a crazy sexual urge who wants to have sex every day can actually lose that urge if they feel like their partner is not making any move towards them. Do you see? So you want to go back to the beginning and revisit the passion, revisit what makes you tick. Another thing you can do in visiting the beginning is literally walking back to the place. So if there's a place where you had fond memories, you want to visit that place every once in a while. If there are stories of those fond memories, you want to talk about them in your relationship Every once in a while, you want to remember to share them, how you proposed, how you did this, where you met me, who was there, who introduced us. You want to make sure there's something that I do in my sessions. And when I meet a couple, especially couples who are about to get married, I ask, how did you meet? What do you like about each other? Or when you think about your partner, what makes you smile? All these questions. What I find is that when they're answering a question, the person listening is feeling a sense of just swooning over all the good things being said about them. They are blushing. But guess what? Half of the time, in fact, more than half of the time, a lot of the things being said in those sessions, the person has actually never heard it before. Imagine being in a relationship, being married for years, or about to get married to a person, right? That's such a big commitment. And they haven't even heard you say what you love most about them. They haven't heard you say what you find attractive about them, what you find, what values you appreciate in their life. They haven't heard you say it. Do you see? This is a big problem. So when they say it, the other person's ear is itching and they're like, oh my goodness, really? I've never heard this before. And so you find that creates a sense of closeness, a sense of, okay, maybe this is okay. Okay, maybe we can continue. Okay, maybe things are not so bad after all. So in your relationship, you want to make sure that you create this kind of sense. You share stories, you think about a certain value. Make sure you tell your partner, because whether you like it or not, these things are constantly happening. What happens is that we do not have the sense or the information or the knowledge or the know-how to present it. So for example, whether you like it or not, you're going to think about your partner anyway. Their thoughts will come to you, and it's not always bad thoughts. Now, couples go into some kind of coldness, not always because there's an issue. Not always because there's a fight. There is some kind of comfortable place that we get to, where we get too lax with each other, right? It also some sense of safety that you feel about, oh, this is home. Nothing, nobody's going anywhere here. That creates that, complacency, where there's no need for excitement, there's no need for romance. So it's not always because there's an issue that has now created a huge form of resentment. Sometimes it's comfort. We're too comfortable. So you want to make sure that you always revisit the past, the excitements in the beginning, the passion, talk about the stories, the funness and everything. Another thing you may do is to literally pump your relationship with adrenaline. I mean, even I have to remember to do this, right? Because this is a great point. Literally, when you feel a rush of adrenaline, like when you are pumped with energy, right? Research has shown that can increase attraction, right? And so when you have increased attraction for a person, there's likely to be at least an imagined, or in quotes, sense of affection, which is that there's some kind of closeness that you then feel with the person, which is why you find that in the beginning, when you go on dates, let's say you go, to, watch a movie, you do something together, you feel that sense of closeness with that person. And it is on those dates that you begin to hold hands unconsciously. Naturally, just being in a movie, just jumping together, can literally build a form of attraction where your bodies connect. So I would say find a way to create that rush, right? You can go jumping. The best form of activities are those that literally pump you with adrenaline and energy, right? So obviously go jumping, do something that makes you sweat, run together. You can even sign up to a gym together and work out together, right? That will create some kind of attraction. Do you see? But obviously, if you cannot do that, go on dates. Do something that literally communicates to your subconscious that we are in this together, right? We're each other's bodies, right? And you find that your bodies will naturally gravitate towards each other. So it's important to bring that back, right? And get your hearts racing together. Find a way to also kind of like, if there are issues. Remember, I said that it's not always issues that cause a decline in love. But if there are issues that have happened over the years, right, or maybe, things that have been done, betrayals and hurt, seek healing for those things, right? Make sure you realize the importance of letting go of your resentments. You have to deal with them. If you don't deal with them and you cover them with activities, they will come back to bite you in the back. So do not cover with activities. Do not pretend in your relationship. And there's no need being in a relationship and just settling if you're not going to be happy. Prioritize happiness. Make sure that it is important to you that you enjoy your relationship. This is the only way that you move towards each other, right? Burn those resentments. Sit down and have conversations. Talk about them, right? Do something. Go to therapy, right? Go to counseling. Talk to professionals that can help you address the issues from an unbiased perspective, right? And help you see what the other person is saying or what the other person is not saying. If you are within the home yourself, you can also do a ritual, something that signifies that you are willing to let it go. You can write it down and tear it into pieces. You can write it down and burn it together, right? And obviously in doing that, it's a form of, it's a process where you are communicating to yourself that when this is done, it means that I'm letting go. It means that I'm taking a deep breath. It means that I'm forgetting this issue. It means that I'm forgiving this person. That is also very important. Obviously, it's important for the married folks to have sex, right? So obviously put sex on the table, right? Now, for the unmarried folks, sex can be a bit of a challenge there because sex can also camouflage as affection. So you want to be careful, right? You want to make sure that you're addressing issues. Even for the married folks, sex can, in quote, bury issues. Sex can put things under the carpet. So while it is important to put sex on the table, right, and actually make sure you are connecting physically, because physical connection can bring about emotional connection. So obviously when two people who like each other, who want to be with each other, have sex, their bodies come together in a way that they relax. Now, when you are in a state of relaxation, it's a state of vulnerability. Now, in that state of vulnerability, you are willing to open up yourself to another person, which is why it will then lead to some kind of conversation, some feeling of affection. So when you're in bed naked with a person, it's not the time when you're thinking about, oh, what am I going to do to hurt them? How am I going to get back with them? You have let your guard down. So it's easy for people to resolve their issues when they're in bed because they're in a vulnerable state. They're holding hands, they're, calm, even they're in their mind, even if they're not holding each other, you are naked. So literally your senses are calm, your nerves are calm, right? So it's easy to have conversations. So obviously sex is good because physical intimacy can create emotional intimacy. But guess what? Emotional intimacy can also create physical intimacy. And I will lean towards emotional intimacy more in terms of focus. Make sure that you are actually connecting emotionally, right? Talk about your day. Talk about the highs of your day. Talk about the lows of your day. Make it a habit to connect without technology, right? Drop your phones, eat together. Those things build emotional connection. Important, it is very, very important for married folks to share the load of the housework. This causes a lot of issue. If your parents share the work, don't leave the caring responsibilities to one person. This will literally kill romance fast in your relationship, right? Make sure you're sharing the responsibility of the house. Share the housework. Do your part. Beyond doing your part, go the extra mile and see your partner. So let's say you have a partner who doesn't mind doing certain things for you, who doesn't mind serving in certain ways. Maybe you have a wife, maybe you are a wife who doesn't mind cleaning, doing because you love it, you love cooking, it comes naturally to you. Fantastic. You will realize that what you literally need for your partner, from your partner, is for them to see you. And you will then realize that the place of thank you, the place of I appreciate you cannot be underestimated. Do you see? And many women can testify to this. Sometimes This is what you're looking for. Not that you want to stop doing those things. Do you see? So understanding this help you to also see your partner. Whatever your partner is doing, you have to make a habit of acknowledging them. You have to make a habit of seeing them, of making sure they feel seen. Do you see? I appreciate you for this. I appreciate you for that. I appreciate this thing in you, this resilience in you, this sense in you. It was you that made us do this. We appreciate you because your foresight, your thoughtfulness led to so, so, and so. So it's not just about chores or about responsibilities. Sometimes about who a person is in their core. We need to hear these things. Do you see? So if my husband sends me a text saying, you know what, I'm thinking about you, and I think that one of your strongest strength is this and this and this, and I see how it has come to play in our family and has moved us forward, that will make me smile. It's a gift that I didn't even know that I needed. Guess who's going to be feeling happy the next time I see him? Me. So do the same for your partner as well. Think about them. What makes them tick? Who is this person? And that thought will literally bring to you a list of things that you can appreciate about them. Now, the problem is we are always waiting for this thing to be organic. So, you want your partner to have done something and you appreciate them. You want it to come naturally. I want to be able to appreciate my partner naturally without forcing it. I want to say to you today, focus on being intentional first, and it will become organic. Don't say, oh, I will appreciate my partner. Obviously, if I think about them, if I see them do this. No. Literally sit down knowing that my relationship needs this to survive and come up with an actionable step to take, right? Because research shows that relationships that last actually focus on increasing good in their relationship, right? They focus on speaking well to each other. So you cannot wait for it to come naturally to you. You cannot wait for it to be natural that you're talking about your day. No, you literally have to sit down and say, you know what, this and this happened today. And then the conversation will flow from there. But if you're waiting for a conversation to just be kickstarted by some magic or something that is happening, or just because you are sitting down together, why is conversation not happening? No, it will happen because somebody starts it, right? What happens to couples that maybe you are, at the end of the day, you're both tired, you're sitting in the living room, pressing your phone, just the cluttering from all the stress of the day. Then one person begins to get annoyed. Why is he not talking to me? Why is she not talking to me? Why are we not even sitting together? Don't they have anything to tell me? No. The question is you, what about you? Don't you have anything to tell them? Don't you want to hold their hands, right? So what you want to realize is that all those thoughts are calling you to connect. It's a bid to connect to your partner. It's not a bid to judge them. It's not a bid to be defensive about anything. It's a bit, so you do those things. So don't wait for it to be organic. If you focus on it, the intentionality of it, it will most likely become organic after a while. And obviously, with taking sex off the table, especially for singles, you want to make sure that you also do things that create some sense of romance. You hold hands, right? Like you hug each other, right? And then you allow yourself to do certain things that allow you to connect emotionally. You see, for couples that are finding it difficult to have sex, because that's also an issue, don't jump into sex immediately and say, oh, we want to have sex to rekindle our relationship. You will always fall short, right? You have to create the atmosphere. You have to create the passion. You have to create the anticipation. What creates this? When you have dealt with the issue, begin to do those things that you would normally do to have sex. Things like foreplay. But then do it without going all the way, right? That creates some kind of anticipation. But guess what? It also takes away the pressure of, oh, as a couple, if we want to keep our marriage, we have to have sex. Because I realized that this pressure stops you from having sex, right? So if you do all these things, right? I mean, the list is not exhaustive. There are like a lot of things. Make sure that you are somebody committed to knowledge, commit to learning, commit to joining sessions like this, commit to reading, commit to being a student of your own relationship, a student of your own partner, and you would literally have things that you can always do to keep the spark or to reignite the spark in your relationship.
Amazing. My key takeaway is focus on being intentional first and then it will become organic. Thank you so much. Those points are very, very valid. My online audience, we still have some time to have some questions with our speakers. So if you have questions, you can still, put your questions in the chat box. My next question will be to Coach Lara. So a lot has been said about communication, right? And somebody in the audience is asking, what role do communication play in the decline of love and affection between partners? So for example, you probably have an issue with your partner and, right in the heat of the moment, or maybe like 10 minutes after, your partner is asking you, are you fine? And you say, yeah, I'm fine. I'm fine. You don't want to say anything, but so is that right? What do you do in that moment? Do you speak up? Because if you speak up, you may be sounding harsh or you may use a different tone, so how do you handle communication between partners, relationship, friendships, basically, yeah.
So first of all, you need to know each other's communication style. It is very, very important. The way people communicate is very important. Remember, I was telling you about a man who said his wife reminded him of his adopted mom's style of communication. So you need to know there's some people who need time to process things on their own. You understand, when they're upset. Some people need time. Some people don't mind talking it out immediately. Some people need time. Some people are very good with verbal communication, And I remember somebody told me, well, Laramie, I'm tired. Every time we should be communicating, but my husband or my partner is somebody who talks a lot, who can talk. So by the time he's defending himself, he's saying, I'm already out and tired and I can't say anything. And it doesn't mean I'm good. It doesn't mean I'm fine. So I say at this type of time, if this is you, send an email, send a WhatsApp message, something long, or so that there's no interruption at that time. You have to study who you are dealing with. That's number one. Study the person you're dealing with. Some people, because of their wiring, they see conversations as a win or lose. You understand? I must win him. I must win her. I must, some people don't know. Some people see arguments or no. Some people see, disagreement or somebody telling you, oh, I don't like how you do. They see it as war. It depends on where we are all coming from. You get what I mean? Some people see, I must win him. I must win her. I must, my voice must be louder. I must bring out the point. Some people are very, some people are not like that. You have to study who you're with. For some people, you have to be calm when you're talking to them. For some people, you have to bring facts. You have to know different people's personalities. If you're talking to a sanguine, somebody who is very boisterous, who is very, you can, talk a lot and, try to, put gestures and make your point. But if you're talking to a melancholy, you have to come with facts and figures, not emotions. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Oh, I don't like you do this. The person is like, oh my God, he's just throwing tantrum. This one is just trying to blackmail me. I don't have time for all of that. Do you get what I mean? So you have to know who this person is. Because if you call the person your friend, if you call the person your partner, it means that you have spent a lot of time together. So you have to study them. What is their communication style? Number one, you too, what is your own communication style? And so that will help you to see how to talk to them or when to talk to them. There are times that when it comes to partners, sometimes, talking during the day may not cut it. I have once done it before that I woke my husband 3 a.m. The one we have been talking about, it doesn't work. This one, you cannot run anywhere. And it's in the wee hours of the morning. So the guy is like, this must be very serious. So you get what I mean? So you have to keep striving. If that relationship is important to you, what happens, I won't lie to you, is that people give up too easily. These days when we see that, I don't try, I don't call the guy, I don't call the girl, I've spoken, I beg, you get. And there's a video I saw yesterday and I posted it on my stage because the person says, Esther Perel, she's a relationship expert. She said, this thought of I can always do better, I can always get better, is what is a menace in our society, is disturbing us, because it makes you not to want to work on what you have currently. You get, so you always think, well, if they see there are guys hitting on me outside, if you leave me today, I'm gone. That I have other friends, there are other and it's not true. It is, I've been married twice, and when Yoruba will say, if you've not gotten to another person's farm, you will not know the one that is big. You will not know. So I can tell you that, well, marriage is marriage. I'm telling you, whichever one, marriage is marriage. Whatever you think you are running from one, you will get to another one. It may not be exactly that type. It will be in another flavor, another form. You get what I mean, So a lot of people come to me because, oh, Lara, used to be divorced and stuff. So they actually married women. They think, I want to divorce. How do you do it? They think the next advice is, oh, yeah, go and divorce. And I'll tell you, divorce is trauma. You may not recover from it. You get what I mean? Divorce leaves you traumatized. You may not recover from it for the rest of your life. So I think before anybody would say, I'm done with this friendship, I'm done with this relationship, I'm done with this marriage, first of all, make sure you have exhausted all possible, means to make it work. And you cannot over-communicate. I'm telling you, you cannot. Maybe you just don't know their style. I remember, when I love to give examples. I remember when I first got my, that's another thing. I'm an alpha female, strong, ambitious women. And most of us on this call are, judging by modern women, your work, upwardly mobile, and stuff like that. So you have that alpha streak in you. I have my business, or I'm an executive. I know what I'm doing. I'm married to an alpha male. You get what I mean? And so before, sometimes I would have forgotten that, I'm no longer in the office. I'm not talking to my subordinate. So I'm like, hey, babe, and the guy is like, excuse you. you get what I mean? That can trigger something. You get if you don't know how to come out of that, because as an alpha female, you exhibit a lot of masculine energy. And if you're married to a masculine male, it's going to keep clashing. It's going to keep clashing. So you're going to keep saying he doesn't listen. He doesn't listen. He doesn't listen. You don't know how to be feminine. Being feminine is very important if you want to achieve results from an alpha male. Being feminine, I had to learn it myself, how to be a woman. I'm telling you, because a lot of us, unfortunately, as Nigerian women, Nigerian girls, you've had to fend for yourself at some point in time. You've had to go to do stuff on your own. Before you know it, without your control, without your plan, you have become this strong, woman, which sometimes, in quote, can be bitter. You don't even know. And then you transfer that in relationships, and you are calling it, I'm being assertive. Oh, no, you are not assertive. You are being aggressive. You are being rude. You get? So these are the things that make people just say, she's not listening, he's not listening, I'm out. I have another, I can do it better, to the left, like Beyonce said, I can get it better, When you get another person, when I in friendship, you will still have to do the work. So the work is what people are running away from. You will do the work. If you are not ready to do the work, you will be alone by yourself. So from all these things that I've said, study the person you're dealing with. Very key. You cannot over-communicate. It's not possible. You would always find, if the afternoon is not working, try midnight. If this type is not working, try WhatsApp. If this one, and then if you see that, sometimes because of the level of resentment, baggage from the past, pain, a lot of things, sometimes communication has hit a breakdown. That is when you get a third party. There are seasoned professionals, you understand, like a Coach BC, a marriage counselor, like me, a therapist, that you can get, so that, sometimes because your interpretation of what they are saying is what is causing the problem. Is not actually what they are saying. The hurt that you have experienced years ago, that you have buried, is what you are using to react. Right. You get? So when the person is even trying to say no, you're like, I beg you, you're already giving That's all I'll say about it.
Thank you. Thank you so very much. Very, very apt. And you know, when you were speaking, I feel like you're speaking to me, but yeah,
I saw
I've
you
taken my notes
smiling. I'm
already.
like, I talk to you.
Okay, so still on communication. Somebody asked, how do you deal with a partner who flares up whenever money issues are mentioned?
So, Coach BC, right?
To you, please.
Oh, okay. Okay, so I said it earlier. First of all, sometimes you have to check the root of that. You know, sometimes the problem is not what is the root of the problem. You get. So let me give you another example. You know, in my there was a time when me and a partner, somebody I dated in the past, when we had an argument, or when it's not even an argument, we're just talking, and I'll just be like, maybe two of us are in the room, and then there's this foul smell, you know, of fat. You know, naturally, you just be like, oh, you farted, oh my God, you know, you're just, and then the person will be like, why are you accusing me? What do you mean? Why are you accusing me? You know, or you know, I put something there, I can't find it. I automatically just imagine that the person misplaced it, you know, or they didn't put it back. Maybe when they used it, they didn't took, you know, so naturally you're like, oh, you didn't, hey, what do you mean? Yeah, and then, you know, before you know it, it degenerates into a big time argument. Do you know that it was when we went into a deeper conversation one day, and I began to ask him about, you know, childhood, all of those things. And this man told me at the time that when he was in secondary school, you know, he was accused of stealing a mattress when he was in boarding house at JSS2. And because at the time, of course, I'm a therapist, so I had my charms, you get. So I used some sort of procedure which made him remember, because sometimes you have forgotten these things. And he remembered that the reason, you know, he was telling me. And so for me, I knew that that's where the accusation comes from. It's a trigger. So subconsciously, that happened to him when he was younger. You know, somebody or some people accused him of doing some things and he didn't do it. So henceforth, when you accuse him, even as a joke, it becomes war. So you would see now, Joy, that the argument is not about me. It's not about me saying you are doing something wrong. It's a trigger from something in the past. So, which is why I always tell people, you know, try and educate yourself. Go for emotional intelligence classes. Go for therapy for your own self too. You know, you will begin to deduce these things. So when you see that somebody is always blowing up, you yourself calm down. Ask in a nicer way, in another environment, you know, not when you are arguing. Because there is something you may think, oh, I'm trying to be nice. What's wrong with him? He's being defensive. There is something about how you are asking, or there is something about that conversation that may be triggering him. One, that's two or one. And then it may not even actually have anything to do with you. It may just be that, oh, the man feels challenged. Because that's another thing. I'm talking about, you know, if we're talking about men, for instance, somebody that has grown up seeing his father talk to his mother, and she keeps short, keeps quiet, and listen. And if she disagrees, she will find another time and probably kneel down and present her case. That is the person you are married to. And you think that you can just call him and be like, hey, bro, you know, I don't like this thing you're doing. I can't take it. I can't take it. You have to. I'm not saying you should not subject yourself to what his mom did, but you have to see through that lens first. Or else, because, you know, and another thing also I must mention is that when we speak these things, women are kind of, some women, not all women, are usually triggered. We're always talking to the women. We're always, what about the men? Who is talking to them? Who is this, you know? And, you know, you see that is as a result of exhaustion of trying to, you know, but the thing is, do you want your relationship to work? That's number one. Number two, if, you know, somebody was telling me, I'm tired, I'm always, in fact, I'm angry now. Whenever he gives me bars, I give him balls. And then I asked her one question. Are you willing to leave your marriage now? She said, which kind of question is that one? No. I said, so why are you not trying to seek peace? So are you comfortable having, you know, living this way? in peace, in pieces, without peace, because you are suffering, he is suffering, nobody is happy. So would you not still go and be the one to initiate this type of, truth or something like that? So find out how the person was raised is very important. How did they communicate to him? How did he see his predecessors communicate? You have to find a way around that. And then sit down when he's in a good mood. Find out what makes you angry whenever I talk. What is that thing? Because he may also be angry with you because of something you have done in the past. He may be taking that out on you too. So start the conversations.
Thank you so much. Spot on. We have just a few more questions. There are lots of questions coming in, but we'll try to take as much as we can. My next question will be to Coach Olabisi. So we've said a lot about professionals and therapists. Is it proper to involve third parties, such as friends or family, when the love is dwindling in a relationship? Or do you just quietly go to therapists and sort it out?
One way to know that the love is dwindling in your relationship is when you would rather talk to friends and family about the issues in your relationship than talk to your partner. That's one of the ways to know that things are bad. Because ideally, couples talk to each other. They want to resolve their issues. Now, when you find that you are talking more to outsiders, then the problem is now deeper. Do you see? So obviously, as a sign of problems, it cannot be the solution. Do you understand? So, and it's not to say that we can't talk to third parties. It's to say that when we talk to third parties, what are we saying to them? Right? When you go and report your partner, when you go and seek counsel about your partner, most people go with a righteous mindset. Even when people come to counseling, most people come to counseling to find somebody to tell their partners the thing they've been telling their partner that their partner has not heard. People don't come to counseling with a clean slate. It is when you get to counseling or therapy that the slate is white, that the counselor begins to do a job, goes through a process of questioning, of helping you to see things from the other person's perspective. Most people will not do this for you. So your friends will not do this for you. They will take your side, but at the very least, they'll keep quiet and pray with you and say all will be well. And all will be well is not a strategy. Do you see? So you want to make sure that the third party, it is important to have a third party in your relationship. That third party is an unbiased mentor, unbiased family, unbiased friend, unbiased professional. But how do you get unbiased people who have stakes in your life? I'm a professional. I don't have stakes. There's nothing I gain from your relationship crumbling. There's nothing I gain from your relationship working. I don't know you. I probably will not see you again after our sessions are over. The only stake I have is that the work that you have come to me for is done, which is the work of healing, the work of processing thoughts, the work of helping you to see things as they are. It's a job for me. It's easier for me to do it without being biased, right? There's no way there are too many people coming. Do you see? I am trained not to be biased. I'm trained not to take sides. I'm trained to, shift perspective. So you want to make sure that that third party is a professional, right? But if you have a mentor, somebody you know that is unbiased, that will also not cause trouble. So for example, you talk to your dad then thinks to himself, let me talk to her husband. I will not tell him that his wife came to talk to me. But guess what? The moment your dad starts to talk, your husband begins to think, did she come to him? Even if you haven't gone to him. So you can already see that he's already poised not to receive what is coming from there. Or do you see? So it's not wise to talk to family and friends or whatnot. It's always best to talk to a professional. But even in talking to a professional, let it be known, your hope is not in counseling. Counseling does nothing for you beyond what you want to do for yourself. And Coach Lara said something profound. You don't want to leave your marriage, yet you don't want to work on it. Counseling will work for you. Therapy will work for you to the point where you want it to work for you. It's a case of how badly do you want to have peace? How badly do you want to have joy? How badly do you want to be friends? How badly do you want to make this work? So if you don't already have that mindset where it works or it works, you will make excuses even when you're in counseling. Even when a professional is telling you the truth, it will sound like they're taking sides with your partner. I have couples who come to counseling and end up leaving because they feel like the professional is biased. Why? Because, well, they're not hearing what they think they should be hearing. Do you understand what I mean? So at the end of the day, whether you're speaking to a professional, whether you're speaking to family, whether whoever, you have to first of all be determined that you want to make your marriage work, right? Don't cause trouble in a place where you want peace. Do you see? Don't propagate trouble. Don't help trouble to spread. When the other person is taking its eye, you bring it low based on the goal and the vision that you have. So when you come to counseling, have it at the back of your mind that you still have to be intentional. You still have to practice the thing that you get in therapy, that you get in counseling. The tools handed to you will have to be used. Do you see what I mean? So yes, to answer the question, it's better to talk to a professional. But in talking to a professional, prepare yourself because the work will still be done by you.
Thank you so much, Coach BC. And this session has been amazing. I mean, my audience, please, can you let me know in the comment section, has this been very interesting? Has it answered some questions in your minds, in your thoughts? Our speakers have been wonderful. I want to say thank you to Coach Lara and Coach BC once more. Before I let them go, I'd like you to give us, like, on a final note, round up for us. I mean, the topic is When Butterflies Die, Learning to Love Again. What are your final words on that topic? So 1 minute for each of you. Thank you. I'll start with Coach BC since he just finished speaking.
I think something that I've been reoccurring is knowledge, and I can't say it enough. Your relationship will most likely end because of a lack of skills than a lack of love. And that tells you that the relationship has ended before it started. It's not the love you feel, the butterflies you feel. Whether they will die or not is not even the issue. It's the fact that whether they die or they don't die, you will reveal yourself in that relationship. Or, put differently, the relationship will reveal you. So as you interact with your partner, you will be revealed. That your level of intelligence will be revealed. Your level of skills will be revealed. Coach Lara says, study your partner. How do you study someone when you're... Okay, when you want to study for an exam, wouldn't you have materials? Wouldn't you have tools? Wouldn't you have things that you're looking? How do you study someone when you don't know what you're looking for? What are you studying? Do you understand? Oh, talk to them at so time. Do you even know when are they at their best? When are you at your best? Do you understand? So it's not just about waking your partner up during the middle of the night. If you try it in another relationship, that will be another problem. Do you understand what I mean? So make sure you commit to knowledge, right? Make sure you commit to learning about your relationship, because only then would you become proactive in that relationship. My last word to you is this: normalize many things. Repetition is not a bad thing. Talking to your partner, telling them about the same thing over and over, it's not really a bad thing, to be honest. When you understand how humans work, you will know that repetition is actually a blessing. The fact that you can say something over and over and over and over again is how it sticks. But the problem is that you have placed an expectation on your partner that once you say it once, the way that they show that they love you is that they just take to it. The brain doesn't work like that. Do you understand? So normalize these things. A lot of the things you call issues are not issues that you have any business being upset about. They are things that you are supposed to be understanding and learning to manage. Do you see? So once you get that idea, you feel a lot more of peace within yourself. Please prioritize your peace as women. Don't kill yourself before it's time. Why are you fighting about everything? Right? When you understand your partner, there are even some conversations you'll not bring up. Some of you are fighting about things about social media. You see a post on social media, now it's become an issue in your marriage. Don't bother. You already know what your partner will say. You already know where they stand, and you don't agree with it. Why do you want to have a conversation about that? Do you understand? Keep your sanity. right? The body keeps score. Women, the body keeps score. Why do we come down with diseases in your old age? Because you have stressed yourself. Even this butterfly, some people, there's a school of thought that says that it's a stress reaction. Do you understand? Now imagine when it is not for excitement. Imagine when it is for your gut, your colons, everything take a shift and they begin to deteriorate. So please prioritize your peace. Take a deep breath. When there's an issue, before you start going crazy, take a deep breath. Go and take care of yourself first. When you do that, you will see that you will be able to think, should I even address this? Do I even want to? And solutions might come to you better that way. That would be my last word.
Thank you. Before Coach Lara speaks, there's a feedback form going on in the chat box. Please make sure you click on the link and fill the feedback. Tell us how we did. Tell us what we did not do well. And your feedback is greatly, greatly appreciated. So over to you, Coach Lara.
Okay, so I'm going to pick up from where Coach Babsi left off. When she's talking about women, in their old age. That's one of the things that I've seen happening. It's one of the things that is very sad. A lot of women in their 60s, in their 70s are sad, bitter, sick because of the choices they have made in their younger years. You don't want that to be your lot. You don't want that to be your portion, and which is why you should always, always pursue what will give you joy, what will give you peace, what would give you solution and make you, prioritize your well-being. And how do you do that? You yourself heal your own trauma. Find out why you are also doing what you're doing. Because you'll see that as a woman, most of the time, there are things you took from your mom, that both of you are having the same thing. There are things you took from your dad. How do you, change that? How do you heal that? I said it earlier, if you heal your own trauma, you will see that your spouse will respond to it. I'm telling you, your spouse would respond to it, And so also check the family of the person you're dealing with. How was he raised? Childhood, is something we cannot divorce ourselves from, even if we are 89 years old. How was this person raised? It is very, very, pivotal that is the reason why they are behaving the way they are behaving. That's number one. Then another thing, the environment that they grew up in, that is going to affect your marriage. That's going to affect your relationship. That's going to affect your friendship. That's going to affect how they perceive people. You see that some people say, some people are very envious. Some people are, it could be that, the way, if you grew up in a polygamous home that has strife, it's possible that you will have envy. It's possible that you would have strife. It doesn't mean that they are bad people, those kind of people. You get what I mean? So, but if you can heal that, you realize that, everything starts to calm down, and then lastly, your trauma, which is your significant emotional experience. If your partner or your friend has been hurt in a particular way before, that is going to affect how they behave towards that issue till they die. So you have to study these things. You have to know these things. And how do you know them? Like Coach Bisi said, it is knowledge. The more you seek knowledge, the more your life will get better. The more you get to know, the more you'll be better. Focus on being better first. We always focus on the other person. You need to start talking to me like this. You need to start doing this. You need to start doing that. I get it. I know you have your needs. They are valid. You have your expectations. They are valid. But what about you? How do you react and respond to those things? Because you can never control another person. The only person you can control is you. There are some things you need to learn how to adjust to, because it will never change. Do you want to change that? That's why I asked, do you want to leave the relationship? If you want to leave, that's another conversation. But do you want to stay? If you want to stay, there are some things that you should learn how to adjust to, because the more you have, you keep getting angry about it, the more you are hurting yourself, the more you are hurting your life, the more you are setting up yourself for resentment in old age. You don't want that to happen to you. So all in all, please go to therapy for yourself. What does therapy do to you? It helps you heal from resentment. It helps you heal, from what other people have done to you. It helps you forgive people. It helps you forgive yourself. It helps you forgive, society or anybody that has hurt you so bad. And by the time you forgive, you realize that you've drained out the toxicity, you've drained out the bitterness, you've drained out all the, whatever that you have inside of you. So prioritize yourself. That's all I like to say.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Coach Lara and Coach BC. Please, can we give them a round of applause in the chat box? They have really, really done well. And I would like to say thank you. Thank you so much to our coaches. To go further in this session, we're rounding up. Please do not forget to fill the feedback form. Tell us how we did. And if you'd be interested in any of the products that we had spoken of at the beginning of the session, you can also indicate that in the feedback form. To round up the session and to give us a closing remark, I would like to introduce the beautiful woman, Bimpe Gisami. She's the unit head of the Women Banking team at Access Bank. Please give your virtual claps in the chat box for Bimpe Gisami. Good evening, ma'am, and welcome.
Thank you, Joy. Thank you, Coach Lara. Thank you, Coach Olabisi. It was quite an interesting and amazing session. Thank you so much. It's quite, and I was on this table and you shook that table because I was, I'm a part of the school, a school of thought that believe communication is key. Yes, communication is key, but today, I now know that embracing knowledge is key. You need to know more about your partner. You need to also know more about yourself. You need to, because you can't control the narrative without controlling yourself. So you need to control yourself and then choose yourself, and then history tend to repeat itself. But how do we stop that? Is by knowing yourself, knowing your partner. Then how do we now respond to it? You can't control your partner, but you can control yourself. And so if you control, you have because I looked at myself on that table and I see what I have done wrong. And I've told, yeah, I did this, I did that, and we are all strong women, truly. Nigerian women are strong women, and we all believe, yes, we all have our baggages. Seriously, every Nigerian child has a child. We need therapy. We have our own baggages from our childhood. Everyone, nobody's exempted from it. That's the irony. I just sat down and I listened to it, because when we see people saying, I am going for therapy, and I found out that Nigeria is new to this therapy concept, and it is key for everybody, because we are all living with baggages we don't even know exist. It's when we get into conflict, then he rises up, and then after it, when you calm down, you believe, was that me? But thank you so much, because you say we all need to be intentional. And then when we are intentional about it, it becomes organic. We all need to keep our sanity. You cannot keep your partner's sanity. It's only you. And how you respond to a problem determine what the outcome is. If the other partner is higher and you become calm and listen, it will get to a point, even in several times, look and say, this woman is calm, let me also be calm. Thank you so much for sharing your wealth of knowledge with us. It was quite amazing. Thank you so much. So it's good. It was a pleasant evening. I learned a lot. I just want to say thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Over to you, Joy.
Thank you, Bimpe, for that closing remark. Coach Lara and Coach BC, people are looking for you. They're looking for you in our comment section. Please, how do they reach you? Because it seems that they really want to dig deep into this conversation. Please, can you in 1 minute tell people how they can reach you?
Okay, you can reach me online on social media at Secret Place Wife. If you check Instagram, I'm more active on Instagram actually. Secret Place Wife. If you click the link in my bio, you'll be able to then send me an email, go to the website to book sessions, or do whatever you want to do. You can also send a DM. So if you check Secret Place Wife on Instagram, it will be like the easiest place to catch me.
Okay, thank you, Coach Lara.
So my handle on Instagram is Dear Coach Lara. So if you click on it, you just go there, send a DM. There's a link. You want to book a session. There's a website. You want to, book a session. You want to have conversations. But just follow at Dear Coach Lara and send a DM or go to the link in bio.
Thank you so much. And thank you to our ever supportive audience and participants for sticking by. Thank you to the W Initiative of Access Bank for bringing this platform to life and for this awesome session. Till I come back to your screens again, my name is Joy Otto. Do have a pleasant evening.
I see a light inside of you, so let it shine. It's time to spread your wings and fly. Reach for the sky. Get up, don't let nothing hold you. Get up right now, right now. Get up, don't let nobody tell you that you can't. There is greatness inside of you. You're the one that the world is waiting for. Every step you take, we go again. 'Cause we believe in you. Say one day you go make a one day, one day, one day. Push you down, stand with the bow. Yes, we believe in you. Yeah. Don't you give up on yourself till the world knows who you are. Keep on shining. Get up, don't let nothing hold you. Get up right now, right now. Get up, don't let nobody tell you that you can't. There is greatness inside of you. You're the one that the world is waiting for. Every step you take, we go there, 'cause we believe in you. Say one day you go make a one day, one day, one day. One day you'll be like the sun. Say one day you go shine.
Access, more than banking.
Issues about sustainability are very important to us.